I want to give a huge shout out to our gold sponsor, Sudge Bank, Haiti's second leading top bank. They're going to engage on an engaging fireside chat here with all of you today. We're so excited to welcome them. So please get a round of virtual applause to our gold sponsor. And before we kick off the panel, we just want to play a short promo video clip of Sudge Bank, one of the top leading banks in Haiti, for you today.
Attente yo ap chanje et puis tan nou vin important en pile. Non Soje Bank nou kon sa et chaque jour nous travaille pour nous ka offrir au meilleur service, ka pede ou gérer temps ou pi bien en toute sécurité. Non Soje Bank nous engagé nous pour nous rendre nous pi confortable dans relation avec banque. C'est pour ça n'a toujours utilisé technologie internet pour service nous disponible pour sous téléphone, tablette à ordinateur. Comme ça, n'a pas si que tout haïtien sans distinction ka gen accès à service nous yo chaque jour, 7 jours sur 7, 24 heures sur 24. Soje Bank n'a changé bagay. Soje Bank toujours bon côté.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, hopefully you enjoyed that. I'm so excited again to welcome Sudge Bank to Haiti Tech Summit 2020. Really excited to engage them. We have two of our amazing speakers who are going to engage in a very dynamic fireside chat. Michael Verch, CIO at Sudge Bank, and Marc-Alain Boussico, co-founder of Bunch, is going to go live in the next 30 seconds, live from Haiti, to engage with you with this dynamic fireside chat. So again, thank you so much, Sudge Bank, for being a gold sponsor at the summit. Let's get the countdown going and let's get ready for the next fireside chat. All right, without further ado, ladies and gentlemen, please engage and get excited for our fireside chat with Marc-Alain Boussico and Michael Verch, the double M team here, powered by Sudge Bank. It's such an honor and a privilege to work with this amazing organization and two influencers within the Haitian tech community for years. They've been doing amazing work. So please, ladies and gentlemen, give them a warm virtual round of applause. Thank you so much. Over to you. Have a great day and welcome to Haiti Tech Summit 2020.
Hey, thank you, Christine. I'm super excited to be here. If some of you on the thread don't know me, I am Marc-Alain Boussico. I'm known as the founder of Bunch, a partner and friend and close team member of the Haiti Tech Summit, but also as a Sudge Bank brand ambassador. So I am super excited to get on a conversation with you today. I wish we could all be at Decameron having some fun, knowing we can go to the beach right after. But let's take it online, and as the world moves forward, see how we can all be back in Haiti for another Haiti Tech Summit. This said, I am going to talk about the role of tech and innovation in developing countries. We will talk about developing countries. We'll also talk about Haiti. You know that technology is shaping the future, is moving the world. How are we positioning ourselves? How do we see it? How do we understand it? Can technology really bring revolution to Haiti? Let me hear your thoughts on the thread, comment, tweet about it as I start my panel with Michael Verch right now. Michael Verch is the Chief Information Officer of Sudge Bank, but he's also a former head of the Association of Businesses in Tech in Haiti. Thought leader about technology. He knows a lot, and he's willing to share with us some of the insights, some of the things he's seen in Haiti and around the world on how tech and innovation can shape the future of developing countries, of countries like Haiti. Michael Verch, how are you?
Hi, Marc-Alain.
Doing good? Why don't you kick off the panel by sharing maybe with everyone here, what's the most exciting innovation that you've seen around the world that keeps you like, wow, this is great?
Well, First of all, Michael, I want to thank Haiti Tech Summit for having me today. I'm very proud to the fact that Bank has shown a lot of commitment in developing and working to the advancement of technology in Haiti. So it's a real honor to be with you today. I'm looking forward to a great conversation. So coming back to your question, I think that the obvious answer for everybody else would be the smartphone. But I still think that the most amazing advancement is still the microchip, I think. Because if it wasn't for the microchip, none of what we're seeing today would have been possible. And through the constant advancement of microchip, it's making everything we're seeing now possible. Yeah. Because the computing power that we have now, when computer was first built, it took a whole floor to have. Now you can have that maybe 1,000 times that computing power. Yeah. Okay,
but it started there. That's where everything started. If
on the smartphone. Yeah. But I think that is still the most amazing advancement, I think, in terms of innovation and everything else that we're talking about, whether it's AI and everything else, it will not be possible if we don't continue to evolve on the microchip.
Yeah, definitely.
And the second thing I would say, it's internet. Both work in combination. So I would say if I had to pick one, it would still be the microchip, but we can't forget the internet. And those are the two most major innovation, I think.
You're absolutely right. And I think there's so much more to come. And we're always going to be building on top of these things that came before us. And thinking about exploring the explosion of technology, but we also know that developing countries today are still facing a lot of blocks, restraints, whether it comes to building business on those platforms, so economic power, whether it's culture, bias, or whether it's just internet penetration. But within all the realm of all these issues, what opportunity do you see for corporates or entrepreneurs who really want to build the future with tech?
Well, the first thing is that in developing countries, you have a lot of needs. Okay, you don't necessarily have the demand, and like you said, there's a lot of constraints. Unfortunately, those constraints are real, and I think when we're looking at the two major constraints in terms of technology is always infrastructure. I think my friend Alan talked about a lot in his keynote, energy, all about infrastructure. But also you have the legal framework. And unfortunately, those two aspects, it lies a lot on the government in any country, okay? It has to start with the government because the building block has to come from the government. Obviously, the private sector has a big role and in a lot of countries, it's through partnership between the public and the private sector that you can tackle some of those challenges in terms of infrastructure and legal framework. But I think it starts from there. Once you have those, obviously there's a lot of opportunities for corporate and entrepreneurs. Okay, in the case of Haiti, I think there's a lot of space available in e-commerce and payment system in a whole. Okay, we have done a lot of progress in the recent years. Okay, the road ahead is still long. There's still a lot of things that we need to do, but this is where I see a lot of opportunities. Okay, but when we have those two, also it's still a building blocks because those payment systems and the infrastructure for e-commerce, that's where you can find, I think, the real innovation that will foster. Because things like even if you're thinking about Uber, it wouldn't be possible without the smartphone, which in fact is an infrastructure, and also the payment system. Because when you order that service on Uber, but it makes it easier for you to pay. So you need that payment system as a whole, and it has to start from there.
I mean, I think you're absolutely right. We are a country with over 10 million people that need to be interacting more in the digital space, and that creates wealth, that creates opportunity for money, and e-commerce, fintech is definitely going to be pivotal for the future of technology in Haiti. And I know Groupe Bank partnered with Mocash, pushing opportunities for entrepreneurs to put their APIs on their website. Can you tell us more a little bit about that?
Well, yeah. Groupe Bank has been a we understand the key role that we have to play in terms of helping this country to develop, okay? And we do understand also the tremendous responsibility that we have also in working towards the advancement of technology. And as I mentioned, a key, I would say a stumbling block is the payment system. So in the recent months, we already had a partnership with Mocash, which is the leading fintech, but also the money wallet in Haiti. We are the financial arm for Mocash. But in terms of technology innovation, we recently helped to the ecosystem to grow as a whole. So right now we can debit a social bank account, okay, and credit a mobile money wallet on Mocash. Within the few months, we're working on that it happens on the other way around. So from Mocash, you can credit back a social bank account. We've also recently launched SocialPay, which is a payment gateway right now, and that will help tremendously in terms of entrepreneurs working in the e-commerce space, whether it's a mobile app or just traditional website, or to receive payments through credit cards. And we're working to other innovation in terms of making that more and more easier and more secure for those entrepreneurs.
I mean, it's absolutely exciting to see the initiatives that are being taken right now to, as we're actually living in a post-COVID situation, to see that SocialBank is really partnering with other fintechs to be able to bring those opportunities to Haitian people. And that's actually where I have another question for you. So we understand partnership is very important right now to scale, to build. We're living in a world where somebody starts something. You were talking about internet and microchip, but somebody starts something, somebody else leverages it, and then we move forward. That's how we're growing the impact of technology in first world, but also in developing countries. So can you tell us a little bit more about how Group SocialBank and you as a CIO leveraging partnerships around the bank to be able to bring the Haitian ecosystem closer to a more sustainable and innovative economy?
I would say around the world, bank haven't traditionally relied on partnerships, okay? And even in Haiti, for the last 10 years, you've seen a lot of growth in the banking sector happening more through merger and acquisition than anything else. But I guess with the advancement of fintech around the world, we do have to recognize the disruption that's happening. And also those disruption helps highlight a lot of needs that are not satisfied, a lot of opportunities. And as a bank, we can't do everything, okay? We can't, without relying on fintech, you will spend a lot of money and energy and research and development, but you were gonna go a little bit away from your core business, the core financial services. So through partnership, we can stay connected to our market, be able to service our market more, to offer more product. And we do understand that in terms of our growth, it has to go more and more through partnership. This is something we have recognized for a while now. Like I mentioned, we already have a huge partnership in place with Digital Mocash, okay, which is actually helping us to get more and more in the financial inclusion market, okay, through that partnership. We have a big partnership with Western Union. It might look like a brick and mortar traditional partnership, but Western Union has been going through a lot of digital transformation. So through that partnership, we can now stay more connected to our diaspora and offer also digital remittance and service like that. We have a partnership with Verch, with you, Marc-Alain. With that, it helps us also stay connected with local talents and also with local entrepreneurs, keeping an eye on what's going on within the market and how we can help grow the ecosystem a little bit better. We do have also a partnership with a lot of different players with the Stéphane Bruno initiative.
Yeah.
Initiative Stéphane Bruno, I have to say it in French. And through that, we have a local yearly innovation challenge, okay? That's been so far very successful. And a lot of small innovation maybe have started through that contest, and we're very proud of that also. And so those are small steps for now. There are big steps for us. Okay, maybe small steps for the market, but we're gonna still continue pursuing in that way, and we do believe in partnerships.
Yeah, and I think that's incredible. For a bank to be really positioning itself, not just like really changing the meaning of what it means to be toujours bon côté, always by your side, by really being by the ecosystem side and really looking into the future. And I think also Bank has also been partnering with help, like helping students getting education. So we're actually seeing bits and pieces of all the ecosystem here, from community to fintechs to creating knowledge, competition, startups. I think this is absolutely fantastic. I want to move back a little bit to the world and kind of connect you with, when you're looking around the world and you're looking at innovation and technology happening everywhere, Africa, the United States, is there anything that you've seen that you're like, wow, this could definitely work in Haiti and that would be pertinent?
There's a lot of things that, I wouldn't use, traditionally a lot of people in Haiti look at the US, for example, but me personally, I've always looked to Africa, okay? I think there's a lot of innovation that's happening in Africa.
Definitely.
A lot of them are not necessarily being documented, or they don't show up in the news. But in terms of innovation, there's a lot of things happening in Africa. Even though mobile money, when people say, when will we have M-Pesa in Haiti? Well, we already have it. We have more cash, okay? So I think there's a lot of innovation that can come, that we can look at around the world. But the obvious thing is maybe saying that you can have integration with WhatsApp. There's a few innovation that's happening right now in Brazil. We're seeing things like that. You see there's a lot of debit cards innovation around the world, connected to mobile money, connected to wallet. But I think we're missing the boat maybe, or we're not fully engaged. I think it's blockchain to me personally, okay? Because I think that there's a lot of things in Haiti that could make a tremendous leap forward using blockchain. Things that are necessary as a building block for Haiti as open for business, okay? In terms of buying, selling land, managing assets. A lot of things can be solved by blockchain. Unfortunately for blockchain, it really comes down to the legal framework, and the government has a lot to play from that point of view. And they have a decision to take, I think, in that point. Will they build it themselves, or will they open the market and just put the legal framework so that opens the market for entrepreneurs to solve a lot of those social or economic issues, but that have been solved already in a lot of developing countries, but are so important in Haiti. Okay, and buying and selling and having the asset, because even to get a loan, you have to have the collateral, and having that land and everything else. We need to make those type of transactions very easy, and I think blockchain can play a very important.
I mean, I think you're absolutely right about Africa, and I think GSC is doing a lot of work, doing summits throughout Africa every year, making sure that people, like technology and innovation that's happening over there, are being highlighted. And when you're mentioning blockchain, I more than agree with you. And I think I know the Central Bank of Haiti is actually exploring a few things about blockchain, and I hope that this type of conversation get spread through governments and through the states in general. And even at Bunge recently, we launched a challenge to connect developers with creative. And then one of the projects that came out of that event that we did with the Inter-American Development Bank was a blockchain platform to help artists secure information about their art and really sell it, and sharing proceeds among themselves. These things are amazing innovations that are happening around the world. That Haiti needs to learn from, and I think we are already learning from. We just need to push these things further. And with that regard, I want to ask you, there are more people a lot of people here are saying technology is not going to change Haiti. Technology, I mean, there's too many barriers. Do you have a message for people who don't believe, still, with everything that's happening, tech summits, techs around Haiti, around the world, they still don't believe that technology can bring a revolution? Do you have a message for these people?
do understand from, I do understand. I do understand from where they're coming from. When we're looking at developing countries, when we're looking at all the needs and all the constraints, there's a there's a big need to start somewhere, and obviously sometimes technology can look as a luxury. Okay, it's not the starting point. So I do understand from where they're coming from, but with all the advancement that's happening right now in the world, I think that developing countries will not be able to go through the same process as their more advanced counterparts and take the same time over and over. We can't wait 10 to 30 years for development to happen. So we have to take shortcut, and the key word will be we have to scale up. So once we start, we have to be able to scale up quickly. I mean, Haiti has a population of 10 million. Okay, even when we start, we already have a lot of, I mean, the economic side, it's only maybe 1 million, 2 million that's really involved right now. Okay, but if we want to reach those 10 million quickly and not take 30 years to go to them, it's really about scaling up fast. And to be able to scale up fast, there's nothing that can happen without the use of technology. Okay, and when we looked at the situation with COVID-19 and everything else, even the disbursements are happening in states and other countries around the world. Okay, it's because of the advancement of technology made it easier. People could stay in more at home and receive that, and really without technology you can't scale up.
We don't have a lot of time. I have two more questions for you before we close this session. Tell us, like, bluntly or frankly, how innovative do you find the banking sector in Haiti?
Well, we have to be honest. Bank so far around the world and also in Haiti have been very conservative, and rightly so, because we have a big responsibility and we're managing people's money. It's a huge responsibility. We have to, in a way, stay conservative. We can't take risks, okay, with people's money. Over the last 10 years, I think that the main advancement in the banking sector, especially in Haiti, has been internet banking, mobile banking. But over the later stages of those 10 years, we've seen a lot of advancements, not necessarily technology. Started with branchless banking, okay, which now it's more and more the norm. We had the mobile money introduction with Moncash, okay, but now we're seeing a lot of banks being more and more open. And I think that in the case of Haiti, we're a little bit, even though we're conservative, I think we're very more keen to the needs of the market. At least at Sociébank, we truly are, okay? And with the innovation that we're seeing so far in terms of a payment gateway platform, a partnership to Moncash and everything else, it shows a commitment and willingness to understand the needs of our customers and to help them have easier access to their money and to serve faster and easier those financial needs.
Absolutely. I agree with you, but I still believe that there's more that needs to be done. And I think the pressure is always going to be, how much more can you do? How far can we go? Because the needs are real. People want to be able to connect with the world. We need to be more integrated in the country. And I think that's what the demand is looking like. It's just that it's like a circle, right? You need to empower the demand for them to get jobs, get money, have more needs, and then that's how we're going to go. But we need to start somewhere. I thank you very much for sharing your thoughts on that, Michael. I think I have one final question for you, really, and it's a funny question. How proud are you to be working for a bank like Groupe Sociébank today? Easy question.
Yeah, it's an easy question. Well, actually, I'm very proud to work for Groupe Sociébank, and for two reasons. First of all, Groupe Sociébank is very committed and I would say to the social aspect as a corporate citizen. As a corporate citizen, we're very committed to the development of country. We truly love this country, and we're very committed to the advancement and the development of Haiti. Okay. And we fully recognize also that the key role that technology and the responsibility that we have, the key role that technology can play to the advancement of technology. So although we are a for-profit organization, we can't go away from that, okay? But we do recognize the role that we have to play, and I think we're very committed to that. We understand our responsibility, and we're fully engaged and committed towards working toward that goal.
Because thank you very much again, Michael. I think it's very genuine of you to kind of like really share what your values are and how they connect with Group Sojibank. I think it is a really forward-thinking bank. I've been collaborating with them for more than 2 years now with Bunch, and the way they really are opening the bank, not just in terms of services, but also to the community, doing programs like we do twice a month. We really run programs where we help entrepreneurs get insight. They're getting their employees within the bank to come online, go live, and sharing their experience with entrepreneurs. And our community is always grateful. Even just last night, a quick story where one of the entrepreneurs who will be pitching here today was on one of the SSS live videos from what we've done with the bank, learning how to pitch. And these small things are creating connection, and they're a connection for the future, right? If you want to engage with the future, you have to engage with young people, and you have to leverage technology and innovation to be able to find better ways to do that. So this said, thank you again for your time. And I'm going to pass it on back to Christine. And guys, stay tuned. Keep watching the Haiti Tech Summit. Looking forward to see you next year. This was Michael Verch and Mark Alain live from Haiti. So until we see Christine back on the thread.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, thank you so
she's back.
much. This was such a dynamic panel from Soj Bank. Listening to the thought leadership between Michael Verch and Marc-Alain Boussico. Can I get another round of virtual applause for these dynamic duos? There was a very candid conversation about banking, digitization. I think there was some very upfront conversations about what's to come. So thank you so much for sharing your thought leadership. It truly was a pleasure and honor to have you here at the Haiti Tech Summit. Please, ladies and gentlemen, a round of applause to this dynamic fireside chat between Michael Verch, the CIO of Soj Bank, and Marc-Alain Boussico, the founder of Bunch and head of partnerships at Haiti Tech Summit. Thank you so much, everyone, for your engagements. This was an amazing, amazing session. And that was live from Haiti. And again, I want to give another huge shout out to our gold sponsor, Soj Bank, for being a part of this program. Again, another major shout out to our gold sponsor, Soj Bank, for supporting us for this program. With that said, I definitely want to transition to the next session that's going to happen in 4 minutes. It's going to be our Creole session, Creole conversations between two dynamic Haitian influencers